Hey, it's me again, your awkward crafting friend. I have some computer issues this week, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do the before and after pictures and any of the editing really, so I guess we'll see if I can get this done in one take. I put everything actually around me so that I don't need to get up and sit down all the time, which might be a good idea to do anyway, because that's like what people actually do for floss tubes, right? Yeah, we'll see about that. My name's Hazel, by the way, and that's the first time I've remembered to say that in a floss tube ever. So go me. I've been doing quite a lot, some spinning and experimenting with natural dyeing as well. So I did film a bit of my dyeing. I'm gonna pop that in at the end if I can with my phone. So if anyone's interested in that process of trying to dye with ivy leaves, you can see it there. Yeah, so let's get going. Oh, and I do have a little bit of like stash, so I'll get to that later as well. I did start the Dreamer. So this is Mirabilia's The Dreamer. It's out of print now, but I managed to get it on eBay. I absolutely love it. And I'm doing it on this fabric. This is the colour Evergreen from Crafty Kitten, and it's beautiful, and I absolutely love it against these colours. So here she is. Not that you can tell that it's a person so far. So this is like, I've started in the middle here, so it's like her dress here with this like sash or whatever, and then some of her belt thing there. So I'm absolutely loving how the colours are coming out on this fabric. It's showing up really well actually, that I can see, so I must have a good angle for light. And I started some of the flowers as well on this side. This one has been so much fun. I'm absolutely understanding why people are super into the Mirabilias now, because it's just a lot of fun to stitch. There's some blended colours in there that really have a cool effect, and yeah, I can't wait to do a bit more on this one. It's faster than I expected as well. I thought it was going to be more complicated, and it is a bit complicated, but not too much. So there you go. You're gonna have to put up with me rolling things back up as well because of lack of editing. My PC decided to just nope out on me, so my boyfriend helped me build it last year, and it has like a secondhand motherboard and various different parts of it, so it might be the motherboard or it might be the dodgy copy of Windows that Joe downloaded for me. So we'll see about that. Better put that there. Okay, that was number one. I also worked on my water lily pond. So this is what it's going to look like. Beautiful, soft, calming green colours. Green is my favourite colour, in case you could not tell. This is a kit by DMC that I've mangled here. And this is what it looks like now. Is that the way? Yeah, that's the right way around. So not a huge amount of progress, but I've probably filled in this bit here and down here. So given that this is a full coverage, it's getting along, you know, it's getting there. I'm happy with the progress on that. And I love the depth of colour in these green areas. Yeah, I'd love to have some like impressionist prints on my walls one day, when I have walls that I own. Which, we'll see how long that takes. It's going to be like 2 years before I qualify anyway, so. Yeah, then also, oh, here we go. This is The Old Melody by Marishka. They are an Eastern European company, and this is what it's going to look like. It's so weird. I love it so much. And it's a lot more stitching than I anticipated. I don't know why, because like when you actually look at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty big. But apparently I thought it wasn't going to take that long. But it's actually like quite a large full coverage design. I've not done any dimensions, but it's probably on a par with that really. So here we go. Here he is. So I've got the cat's face coming in there. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I did basically all of this face. And the back stitching isn't done yet, so his eyes will like pop out even more. Yeah, excited to get back to that one as well. I've got it on the scroll frame now, which helps a bit because I was stitching this in hand. And it's actually quite, whoops. It's actually a fairly wide piece, so it helps to have it on the frame. Enjoying that one very much. Let me just prop that. That's going to stay there. Okay, well, given that this one fell over, I'll get it out. This is the one that I'm working on now, actually. And I don't have a picture of it printed out, but it's Death by Cross Stitch, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen that one already and know what it looks like, because it is a very popular one. And there's like infinite variations that people have done of it, and that makes me very happy. So this is my variation of Death by Cross Stitch by Long Dog Samplers. And I am having so much fun with this at the moment. I don't know what it is, like whether I was really in need of some simple one colour stitching or not, but I'm just loving it. Like, I want to work on it loads at the moment, so that's great. And so far I've got quite a lot more of this over here. Basically all of this bit is new, and then this here. So while it is a pretty big piece, I mean, it's going to come across to about here, and it's on 40 count, 1/2. So it's going to take a while to get over here and then all the way down. But I'm loving the process of it so much. So I'm glad that it's going to take ages even, because I get to enjoy doing this for longer. And working with this silk is so lovely. I'm using a skein of silk from Mrs. Sadis on Etsy, in this beautiful red colour. And this is a 40 count natural linen, so I really like that colour combination. I'll just a bit closer there. So I'm just working on this next bird. I don't know if you can see that, but they're That's like a bird of some kind, maybe a heron eating a fish, or like just going after that fish. So I'm on the second one of these now. So yeah, it's just so intricate, and the stitches are so tiny and delicate on this fabric. It's just amazing. I love it so much. So yeah, basically I'm a proud mum to that at the moment. And oh, this one's on the far side of my desk. Okay, this is going to be a reach. Oh no. This is just the general chaos that surrounds me, to be honest. But I apologise if anyone is listening to this on headphones and has it turned up. Okay. So, back to regularly scheduled content. This is the Enchanted Forest by Forest Embroidery. That is what it will look like. This one is so much fun. And I have made some progress, and for some reason I left this thread hanging. I cannot remember why I did that. I must have just been excited to do something else. Oh well. So here is where I got up to. So I've done around about a quarter of it now. And it is fantastic. Loving it. I think the last time I filmed I had done this rowan berry sprig. So I've got an owl. I love this owl. And then this flower here, and then this is a tree with a woodpecker. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I love the colours on this. They're a lot brighter than it seems in the video, I think. I love this frog. Yeah, I love the like folksy style of this one. It's so much fun. So I think I'm going to try and work, where am I? So I've got this bit done. I think I'm going to try and work up and around to this beautiful sunset over the tree line. So yeah, I am looking forward to getting back to this one. As I am all of them. I'm really enjoying like everything that I'm making right now, which is a good sign, right? And it's really been helping me, you know, get to grips with the news and everything that's going on, to just be able to take some time out and just like get into the rhythm of like stitching and playing with different colours, and yeah, that's great. So I've got one more, and this is a very special piece for me. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this. I am Solarpunk Stitches on Instagram as well. I might go into why I chose that name a little bit at some point. But, oh, let me just grab there it is. Okay, so this is a Gecko Rouge kit. And I saved up for ages to get this, because this is one of the most beautiful pictures I have ever seen. And it was just like, I like to make things sometimes for my future home that I don't have yet. And so I tend to choose like quite large pieces for that, because it's something that I can work on while thinking about that, you know, and it gives me it's kind of comforting. It's like, you know, I'm making this for my home in the future. And this is one of them. So Death by Cross Stitch is definitely one that I'm keeping for that. I don't plan to keep all of the pieces that I'm making, but Death by Cross Stitch is definitely one that was like, yeah, I want to have that framed on the wall in my future home. And this is another one. So this is the mermaid. Artwork is by Medusa Dollmaker, who is a fantastic artist. Definitely look her up. Yeah, she's this beautiful Art Nouveau mermaid. I just love the colours in this as well. It's so like, not exactly ethereal, but like, I don't know, it's got that Art Nouveau look. Sort of, I don't know, capital R romantic, I guess. It reminds me of like, it's like you can almost hear Debussy playing in the background. Anyway, that's absolutely beautiful. It is one of those tiny full coverage pieces. So it's on 25 count, 1/1, which I'm a bit new to. I did try to do a Heaven and Earth Designs piece when I was about 16 on 25 count, 1/1, and it did not really work out. That was a big fail. So this one is going much better though, partly because of the easy count. This stuff is extremely useful, and partly because I now know how to pin stitch. So I managed to finish the first page, which is great because I started this in October last year, and I was enjoying it but getting on quite slowly, and now I think I've got into it. I'm using Pattern Keeper, which is awesome. So yeah, here is my first page. So I think last time I showed it, which was probably in my whip raid, I had done sort of this bit of filling in the inside of the frame, and then there was still a lot of like confetti-ish stitches in the frame to do. So I filled all of that in, and the first page is complete, which does not look like a lot, but it is a big deal for me. It's the first time I've finished a page of a full coverage piece. And these pages are quite a bit smaller than Heaven and Earth Designs pages, so that's a bit easier, but it's about the right size for me. So yeah, this is not that exciting, but it's just the corner of her frame here. And this is just the underwater colours in here, like the underwaterness in the background, which was actually quite fun. There's a lot of interesting colours in there. I don't know, maybe you can see the colours better, but there's some purples and greens and things in here that are really nice. Okay. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's going to take me a long time, but again, if I'm really enjoying it, that is not a problem. Yeah. So for me, this was definitely worth it. I know these kits are quite expensive compared to like most other cross stitch kits, but for the amount of like enjoyment, hobby time that I'm getting out of it, it's definitely worth it for me. So that is all of the things I have been working on since the last time I filmed, I think last month. I have also been doing some spinning. So that big bag of wool that I showed you in my whip raid that I got from a local shepherd, I have my first skein. So I've been carding that, and maybe I'll film the process of that at some point. But I've carded that up and spun it. This hasn't been wet finished yet, so it's still a bit like twisty up, but that I'm pretty pleased that I've managed to achieve a fairly good double knit weight, which is what I need for the long jacket / coat that I'm going to be making. Eventually I need to spin up like an entire kilogram of wool, so we'll see about that. but it's going to be a beautiful long coat that has some surface crochet detailing in a different colour. So I'm going to try and dye my contrast colour, which will be interesting. Now, I have been experimenting with natural dyeing, or should I say plant dyeing, because I haven't been out there collecting insects to mash up and make into dyes. But I've been experimenting with plants that I have around. So I did go to a natural dyeing workshop at the Knitting and Stitching Show in London a couple of years ago, which was a bit of a sort of flash introduction. But they gave us a sample skein that we could take home that had been mordanted, so treated with a chemical to fix the dye. And it didn't really work out because I tried to tea dye it, but I used like a herbal tea and it didn't work. Anyway, I tried again with daffodils. So I have, one sec. I have this book, which is absolutely fantastic, particularly if you live in the UK or Northern Europe. This is Wild Colour by Jenny Dean, and it has basically everything you could want to know. Not that I know a huge amount about this subject, but as far as I can tell, it has everything you as a beginner would want to know about the dyeing techniques, and then it has like a whole encyclopedia basically of different plants, mostly from temperate zone, so that you could grow in the UK, but also some others from different parts of the world, that you can buy them online in like a powder or something. So yeah, and it has the instructions for how to use them, like how best to get the colour out, and also how to grow them, when to gather them, and how to gather them without damaging the tree or the plant or whatever it is. So yeah, would recommend if you're in the UK and you're interested in natural dyeing. So I used daffodils to dye this, and it's sort of a greenish gold colour, which I really like. It was just a bunch of daffodils that I got from the supermarket, had on my table for a while, and then when they started to fade, I used them to make a dye. Yeah, so that was encouraging. And then I tried out ivy. So I just grabbed some ivy that was growing on our shed, and I've filmed a little bit of that process, so I'll tack that on at the end of the video if I can. I don't know why I'm pointing this way, because this does not lead to the future. This is just my room. So this is how my ivy dyeing came out. The colour's coming out quite well, actually. It's like a pale green, which is a bit not really what I was going for. I wanted like a darker green, but I actually really like it. It's like a fresh leaves kind of green, like a, freshest of fresh spring leaves. So I really like that. And this is some Wensleydale wool that I have spun myself on my spinning wheel. And it's a 3-ply, so it's like squishy and nice. So yeah, I might try and make like a hat or something out of that. I'm liking it, but then I think it would pair well with this colour, this dark brown. I don't know if you can see that, maybe against my hand. So yeah, decisions. And then what I'm going to try next is apple bark, because we have apple trees in our garden. We've been pruning them recently, and so I've got the bark from the prunings, and that's been soaking in water for about a week, and that's about ready to try out. So hopefully that should get an orange colour, and I want to dye some fabric and make a skirt, which would be exciting. But you can also get like a dark purple from it, so I might try that on some wool as well, but it requires iron, so I've got some iron water I've just got some rusty nails in a water and vinegar solution that's been going for about a week as well. So that can be used as a modifier to change the colour of the dye bath. So it should go from orange to potentially purple or maybe green. I've forgotten which one. Once I add that iron, which will be exciting. Yeah, science, kids. So that is pretty much my crafting for the last month. I have a little bit of stash, just a wafer thin. Well, it's not really. It's a couple of things, but it's like the last few months because I've forgotten to like show any of my stash on Flosstube. So, just to do with a couple of these kind of larger projects that I have been slowly kitting up over the past few months. So one of them is Queen of the Fairies by Nimue. The designer of Nimue, I'm probably going to mispronounce her name. It's very French, but I think it's Anaïque Cheval, or something like that. Anyway, she's amazing. I love a lot of the things she's done, and this is incredible. So I don't have fabric or threads for this yet, so it'll probably be a while before I do start her. But I got the like special items, the fancy stuff for her. So there's this mohair silk yarn that is used, there's a lot of it in the wings of the fairy on her shoulder, and it's like sparkly as well. It's so cool. I'm trying not to touch it too much because I don't want to like mess it up before I use it. And then there's a couple colours of beads which I was a bit like not sure about getting because there's not that many of them in there, and like I could easily just use something from my stash that I already have. But given that I wanted to use these like the proper threads as well, and I couldn't really find anywhere that sold them all together, so by the time I got them from different places it was like I might as well just like get the pack from the designer. So I have these. They're a French brand. These are Tonkin threads, so it's like a lame with polyester, I think. I can't tell exactly. Oh no, it's, yeah, there. It's all polyester, but they're very pretty, very soft, like shiny. And then there are two over soie metallic braids. So this one is like a pale gold, and then this has a lot of different colours in. There's like kind of reddish copper colours, gold, green. Yeah, that one's beautiful. So these are used in a lot of the surface embroidery that is on here. So the back, like her body is all cross stitch, and then this dagger that she's holding and her ring and some of the other embroidery like stem stitch that's on it is in these threads. So I am very excited about trying that out, but that'll be a while because these go on last, and it's going to be a while before I get to that stage, given that I haven't even started her yet. So bear with me while I just shovel this back in here quickly. Actually, you know what? I'll do that afterwards. And the other one that I've been kitting up is Shatterlings' Alhambra Garden Mandala, which is hugely exciting because I've been wanting to do a chatelaine for like almost as long as I've been cross stitching, which is a long time. Well, with a massive break in between. So Alhambra Garden. is the one that I've wanted to do for ages. There's loads more that I want to do, but that's the one that I saw first that made me go like, okay, yeah, I need to do that. And so last year for Christmas, I got the materials for it. So all of these beads. I love that sound. So this is really exciting. There's some like cube beads and stuff in there. And then there's not that many silks in this one, so it's, compared to other Shatterlings, it's not expensive. A few petite treasure braids, shiny shiny. And then a few different silks. So those are beautiful. Oh, there was another one as well. Where did you go? There you are. A nice thread. So these are mostly for speciality stitches, I think, which will be exciting. And I have the fabric. I picked a 32 count cream linen for this. It's a bit more of a slightly yellowish colour than it's showing up there, but that's lovely. There's a lot of it. I'm going to need to cut it down a bit to size, but these take big cuts of fabric anyway, so. But I have a bit left over from that, which I might use for, I don't know, one of the digital patterns I've picked up in the last year, maybe. Yeah, so I actually have ordered the cotton threads for that, the DMC. So I might be starting that potentially this month. Maybe, I don't know, maybe next month. Probably this month, let's be real. I do not have self-control. But that is extremely exciting because that's like a crafting dream, if you will, for quite a while. And that's another one that, like, yeah, I want to get you on my wall when I own a wall. But it's more about the pleasure of stitching it as well. So a couple of exciting things in the works. Okay, that is about it. There's a bunch of other things, projects that will be coming up in the next month, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to be working on what I feel like. Hopefully getting some more of this spun up. Yeah. I'm making a dress form as well, so it's non-cross stitch related, but hopefully that will go well. I might put some pictures of that in the next one. And then I've got some plans for sewing, but yeah, we'll see about that. So yeah, thanks for dropping in. Hopefully I'll be able to add some bits of video onto the end, and I will see you next time. Yeah, happy March. Okay, so here I'm trying to use ivy leaves as a dye. Just got them out of the garden. They're just extremely abundant. Just whacking them into the saucepan. This is my dyeing saucepan, by the way. I don't use it for anything else, so don't worry. And I might have to get a bigger one soon, because if I want to dye slightly larger quantities of yarn or fabric, I'm not sure that is going to fit. Right, pouring some boiling water over these. I don't know if that's enough, I hope so, it's like a litre. I should go grab my dyeing stick. Yeah, it's literally just a stick that I use to poke things when they're in the saucepan. So I just put a bit more water in to cover these. And hopefully that should be enough. So according to the book, I need to simmer this for like an hour and then put the fibres in with the leaves still in the dye bath. So I'm hoping that these will kind of wilt down enough so that I can also fit the wool in here, although I can add more water as well because it doesn't matter how much water is in the dye bath because the quantity of dye that is in there is still the same, so it's all going to go in one way or another. I hope. Okay, so now I just kind of have leaf soup. It's magically an hour later and the colour has come out pretty green, which is nice. I was hoping for maybe a bit darker, but it's going to get simmered another hour, so we'll see. I've got here my yarn. This is some Wensleydale wool, which I spun myself. And it's been soaking for a couple of hours in some water to ensure it dyes evenly. And I've already treated it with aluminium sulfate, which is the chemical that was used throughout history to fix and brighten dyes. So hopefully this is going to go a kind of light yellowy green colour. I guess we'll find out. So I'm just going to whack this yarn into my soup and probably add a bit more water. Okay, so this is my yarn leaf soup. I'm trying to move it around very carefully so as not to felt the wool. And it's not looking that green at the moment, but hopefully given another hour of simmering, it should go fairly green. So hopefully in another hour I can show you the results. I love doing this because you never really know how it's going to come out each time. And it feels like, I feel like a witch brewing potions and stuff. It's really fun. It's very hashtag cottagecore, isn't it? I'm just going to leave this to simmer while I go and make some pizza dough, like a massive cliche.